tuning in. Let me flip this on around for a minute. I did a earlier video where I was on my way to I actually just shot it out there in the yard at about 3:30, and now I'm on my way to the beach. Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars encompasses the battle that we're in. Truth and deception are primary weapons. Looks a little bit foggy yet. And I wanted to talk about the hazards of toxic smog, toxic fog. It's actually a really big deal. We've had toxic spills in East Palestine, I prefer calling it. And that's a problem because, well, people are getting sick and a lot of people are going to die. We're all going to die eventually. That's just a known thing. Trying to get as clear of a view as I can here. It's not showing up as nice as I would like. Not sure why. Um, but anyway, I'm gonna take it on out there. Let's see. So, one of the things that I'd like you to consider is when we've got toxic chemicals that have been burned and are settled on the grass and on all the surroundings, and then we have the hydrologic cycle, the evaporation, condensation, respiration, perspiration, all of that that's going on. What'll end up happening is that it'll be airborne. When it's airborne like that, it can get lodged in the lungs and lead to some serious problems. I'm gonna flip this around for a minute. I just want to make positive that my garage is closed, and I've got another issue going on. I've actually got my power steering pump is needing a little more fluid. So hang on a moment. Otherwise, it's just going to make a bunch of racket, and I don't want that. It drips, and I have to fill it every few days. Hang on a second. I'll be right back. Sorry about all that. So here's the thing that there was a car coming down the road, and I did not confirm that my garage was closed when I pulled away. I mean, I know it was closed when I was looking behind me. I just wanted to make sure. I've got videos where right across the way from here, that was an empty lot, and then there was construction that took place, and I talked about it. It was interesting because the guy who built the building, uh, I kind of clued him into the fact they were leveling out the foundation. They were building that. And I said, we don't live on a spinning, wobbling, and gyrating globe. We live on a stationary level plane. We've got a firmament above us. That's the biblical cosmology and the reality of what we're living in. Like a terrarium. And one of the reasons why that's a big deal, as I'm talking about the silent weapons for quiet wars, is we have weather modification and a putrefaction of our environment, which is a big deal, a really big deal. I want to make sure that my place is secure, and why, yes, it is. So, that being said, we're on our way. I'm going to take us to the beach in Cherry Grove. There's a public access there that's available for free until March 1st, all day. And then once we're in season, then we'll end up having free parking from 5 in the morning until 9 a.m., 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., and then after 5 p.m. The reason why that matters is because they don't allow parking in there like overnight. They want to be able to recognize if somebody is car camping, moving into the area. It's gotten increasingly tougher all around to live out of a vehicle. So God bless the people that are struggling with being evicted and rents being raised beyond what they could afford and all of that. I'm operating on a how would I say, a modest means. So I realized I could have my power steering system, my rack and pinion, changed out for a modest $1,500, and I have an electrical problem which makes the car run a little bit rough sometimes and could cut off sometimes. So that's challenging. It might have been some old fuel because I hadn't been driving the car as much, so I put some sea foam in to clean the injectors really good. That might be the issue. I hope that's the issue. I had an electrical problem that I brought on by putting a jumper wire in to activate the charging ports when the ignition was off, and I used too thick of a gauge of wire, and it actually burned out some wiring. I still have a functioning climate control, which is really helpful, and also an active functioning cruise control. I lock it in for the speed limit. That's what I drive, the speed limit. Get up there at a how would I say, not too aggressive of a pace, but enough. I'm not a slow poke out here. When we get close to the time when it's a shift change over at the hospital, there will be a lot of medical professionals in a hurry. Maybe they didn't get the rest that they needed. I don't know, but normally people are running late, seems. I am just not getting the clean view that I'd like to have, but trust me, it's foggy, plenty foggy, and I'm going 45 here. One of my best friends from high school was killed by a milk truck in Hortonville, Wisconsin. Oh yeah, on a foggy day. The car stumbles a little bit right now, so the interesting thing about internal combustion engines is sometimes spark and fuel issues can seem very similar. And now this is a 93 Lexus LS400. It's a nice car. I call it the Truthmobile. It's part of my branding that I have, and so the reason for that was actually to be able to have, how would I say, somewhat of a uniform look across the platforms so people could see that it was me. sometime I'm going to cover quite a few different topics. It's going to be a bit longer of a recording. I hope you don't mind. Let's see, I would like to be able to get that little hint of film off of my lens, but it's just not coming as clean as I would like. It's probably a little coconut oil. Well, that being said, I'm going to have to be pretty vague about controversial topics that, if I'm very specific on, my channel would get taken down. One of those topics would be medical information or medical misinformation. Now here we're in the hospital zone and it drops down to 40. But I'm not going through at a shift change, so these are likely all through traffic. But in the time when it's a shift change, it's a bit different than that. People are in a hurry to get there at 7 a.m., a little bit before. Anyway, all that being said, we've got a silent weapons for quiet wars system that's been deployed on humanity. It's a declassified document. In that document, I have hyperlinks that are in the comments section that would, the common term is link is in the description. Well, the link is in the comments. I just keep adding to it. It's easier to do that. So if somebody sends me a BitChute, Rumble, or a PDF file, I can copy and paste that link and then put it into the comments. When we go up a little bit, it's a little bit clearer. The temperature differential also has to do with the thermal mass of the roadway that'll store heat. And the heat rises and can clear some of the fog. Going to go up over the bridge that was actually underneath this bridge that we're about to go over was the command center for the so-called Chinese balloon recovery psychological operation. The Navy was there. We had ships off the coast. I ended up meeting and talking to military representatives, Navy, Alphabet Agency representatives, as well as producers for CNN, Fox, ABC. Yeah, that's right. I didn't try and photobomb any of their stuff. I don't need to. I've got my own truth network. And since they're not going to let me in Area 51 with my camera, or over at SpaceX or Boca Chica launch sites or anything like that, you can look on my channel and see that that kind of content is there as well. And I'll use the content created by Tesla, Joe Rogan, TED Talks, all of that. I don't have to create the content to comment on it. So in the sophisticated autonomous vehicle category, there's also autonomous weapons. How about that? I'm exposing that as well. And as dangerous as autonomous weapons are, autonomous computer systems are also dangerous. And there are videos on my channel exposing that, and the World Economic Forum's Cyber Polygon event, and more, a lot more. How about that? How about the sentient world simulation? How about a mirror world of this reality in silico, in digital? Oh yeah, how about all that? And so I cross over all the platforms of, or compartmentalization of technology, medical, psychological, philosophical, educational, the whole thing. Mind control, government operation. Hey, right now we've got $2.89 for fuel at the at the Bolanos Express Food and Fuel Center. It's kind of nice. Not that I am going to get any right now, but I wanted to show you something. In a grid down situation, that whopper of a generator could come in handy. It's an Olympian. Keep in mind all the big military, or many of the big military vehicles that my dad ended up selling steel to go into. Oshkosh truck, they're diesel electric vehicles. So the big MRAPs and other personnel carriers and in that have massive electric motors that propel the vehicle, and generator, a large electric generator that creates electricity for them to operate. So over 17 years ago, on a legal pad, I penned out an electric semi with regenerative braking on the trailer as well. I've tweeted that to Elon, sent him a package with me photoshopped in the Roadster. It's Photoshop because it has to be. There are some of you that recognize that soundbite. Oh, how about this one? You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. For those of you who are all excited about everything Elon, keep in mind I'm on a rescue mission to help rescue him as well. I believe everybody either needs to be born again of the Spirit of the Most High, the Almighty, the living Word, the living water, the great I Am, the Alpha and Omega, knowing the end from the beginning, or they're going to be indwelt by Satan or one of his representatives, a demon, fallen angel, that kind of thing. So there's this battle between good and evil going on. And Elon didn't make a wholeheartedly profession of faith that he's born of the Spirit of the Almighty on the Babylon Bee. So yeah, I would like to talk with Elon. I've had people that I've interacted with that say, I'd like to hear you on Joe Rogan or with Elon Musk in an interview. Yeah, that'd be just great. I would like that too. It's not going to happen, probably. But there can be clips of my talking that go out there, quite possibly. Because at some point I won't be able to do this anymore. They'll take me down. I have to be very careful to not make any medical misinformation claims, that type of thing. So there. How about that? I'm not going to do it. So as far as I'll feature medical professionals speaking in the context of their professional experience, and neurologists, psychologists, brain researchers, and all of that. I can do that. I can feature them. Let's go to the Prince Resort, see what that looks like. So after 5 a.m., I can actually park there. But between 12 a.m. and 5 p.m., the public parking is not allowed at the beach access points. Of course, if you're a guest at a hotel, there's appropriate parking for you. They just want to keep the flood of homeless people down in this area, which is a good thing. I mean, we have the resources for social programs to help people that don't have means of providing for themselves. However, a lot of those people don't know how to get it. It would be helpful if there were systems for that. But keep in mind, like George Carlin talked about, those homeless people are there just to scare the shit out of the rest of everybody else. So they'll stay in line so they won't go against the system. How about that? Yeah, and shit is, or scheiß maybe, is the German terminology. Yeah, my last name is pronounced Forsch. It's a lot of letters for a single syllable, but by golly, that's what they wanted to do with it. That's what I was born into. My name, and I'll use my name as computer code to unlock the location of my content. That's why I've done that. Alrighty. Well, looky there. Looks like I got my favorite spot with not many other people here right now. Pretty quiet. They're working on the repair of the pier right now as well. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and take us out and at least just show you what the Truthmobile looks like, and I'm going to keep on talking. Okay. So I've got the surfboard logoed up. They'll stay there. The logos, I clean them with the surfboard with lacquer thinner, and then I used clear Gorilla Tape to hold that on there. It's been on there for a few years. I'll flash this to the large helicopters and airplanes that fly over, the AWACS airplanes. Apparently they're worth about $300 million. Yep, and Bible.com is still a digital version of the Bible, God's Word, worldwide, 24/7. And there you go. That's any time number. I literally get calls from all over the world any time of the day or night. We're dealing with all the time zones. A lot of surveillance cameras here, which is excellent. I like that. I like being very public because of the nature of what's going on here. And I have these there so somebody can go ahead and take a picture if they like on my door handles if I'm at a stoplight or something. That one's a bit faded, but you get the idea. Now, because of the reflection, that's what we're seeing, and there we can see inside there. One of the reasons why I picked black is not that I'm the Grim Reaper or anything. No, this is all a bit of gallows humor. I'm not so concerned with how I'm going to die. I'm primarily concerned with how I'm going to live. Knowing and exposing the truth is what I'm all about, okay? So there you go. Now, the elevators are just over the way there, and if I can get this spot, there will be people coming and going through this area, and then they can't help but meet the truth guy and the Truthmobile and all of that. It's kind of cold and foggy out there right now, and sometimes it's so foggy I won't even be able to see the top of the building, like when the sun is approaching it. At nighttime with the lights up there, pretty much can see through that. So I would say it was a couple weeks ago I came here and this light was out. And I asked one of the people that worked in the office if they would please let maintenance know that. So they did. And so now this broadcast looks a little bit better, more professional, I dare say, because it's got the lighting there. And it's also a security issue, for sure. So in the, there's some free parking spots here, but otherwise it's $3 an hour now. And on the parking spots that say paid parking, well, you need to pay for those. I'm in a free spot right here. I like free. Free works for me. Works well. All right. It happens for me sometimes. I'll get, it almost feels like a download. Like, hey, I need to really consider that. And that's what happened this morning when I had the idea of, you know, I looked outside and it was foggy. And I thought, wow, can you imagine toxic fog from like the railroad accident and the dispersal of all those chemicals in our confined environment? Keep in mind, the firmament is a structure that's above the stationary level Earth. A lot of times I would have my large 1 gallon jug, but this works too. This is highly purified reverse osmosis carbon filtered water. The same kind of water that I bathe in. Today I didn't have any of my electrolytes in there. I simply used the hot purified water. Let me take a gulp of that. It draws toxins out of the body. I've been having a perpetual detoxification of my body for years. Bathing in that water for over 4 years. I wanted to figure out a way that I could reduce those toxins from my body. Not just it's the overall environmental toxification. I use coconut oil. I had my Ray-Bans on. Hey, let me put those signature look Ray-Bans on me. I can do that now that I'm not driving the vehicle and all that. But yeah, what happens is they're polarized, and what'll end up happening is the sunlight bounces off of the lens and all around the nose. So it's like super magnifying my beak here. Now, some people, like the lifeguards, will end up using zinc, like a real thick coating. And what are the health effects of that stuff? I don't know on the particular brand they may be using. However, I also have my, yes, my big hat. It's the Tilly from Canada. They know how to make them. And it'll keep, see, if I would have had that on my head to keep the sun off of my face, I wouldn't have that look, but it's not quite as cool looking, you know, as the coiffure. I use the Flowbee to cut my hair. I was thinking, laughed out loud when I was thinking about all the lockdowns and the people not being able to go and get the hair done. I was thinking, okay, so the artificial intelligence is taking note of how people are getting their grooming done. Like, where are they going to get their hair done? So a Flowbee is a precision stainless steel cutter with a vacuum attachment. You hook it up to a vacuum cleaner. So I've got a vacuum cleaner up in the top of my closet, the hose attached, and I can do my hair in a couple of minutes. How about that? No need to schedule an appointment, no need to pay $25 to get a nice looking coiffure. And I don't color my hair, I put coconut oil on it. And I'm a grandpa now, 61 years old, have a newborn grandson named Dawson. And I was concerned about any child rearing in the pandemic because of the nature of transference or transfection. And so our 3 adult sons are vaccinated against my encouragement. They had no vaccine hesitancy, apparently, or something like that. So I've got to be real careful, especially on that topic. We didn't vaccinate them as babies because we were encouraged not to, and we went along with that. I agreed with that, and it took me down a rabbit hole of why in the world would any system intentionally harm their population? Why would any country send their young men to war for corporate greed and so forth? The military-industrial complex is criminal. It's worldwide. It's not one government, except maybe the world government. Let's take a look at the world government, the Council on Foreign Relations, the World Economic Forum, the Great Reset with Klaus Schwab looking like a Gold Bond or a James Bond villain, Dr. Evil. And this whole thing is loaded with actors. They're bad actors, not like they're bad actors, like they're doing bad things and they're not acting in the best interest of their constituents. They're acting on the wishes or the directions of their master. Some are acting on Satan's directions. Others are acting under God's direction. So I not only have protection, I have direction from the Most High. I am a directed energy weapon for good, to know and expose the truth about everything. So that's part of what's going on here. And I want people to know that the upgrade that I got, let's see, can I read that? Yeah, kinda. Yeah. Okay, I can read it good enough. Looks like thanks for tuning in, all of you that are there right now. And early on in the pandemic, I ended up having one of my live streams taken down, and I got scolded for that. And just so you know, any channel.com, any website can get totally wiped out, taken down, if God allows it, the Most High God, the Almighty. I want to be specific because Jesus Christ talked about the God of this world. Now, there are some of my friends and family that recognize Jesus as Yeshua, Yehoshua. There's different pronunciations. He also goes by the living word, the living water, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega. It's the Almighty Creator that took up human flesh and dwelt among us. And then there's a veritable spiritual smorgasbord that humanity is dining on. However, what I would say in that is determining truth based on appetite and personal preferences is not a good way to determine truth. Now, to put what I'm about to say, juxtaposition that, here's what I'm going to say with that. Once I was born of the Spirit, He changed my appetite to more precisely direct what He wanted me to want to do, to want and to want to do. So He changed my nature. He gave me a heart of flesh. And, I thought I was born again in 1982. That's a while ago, until I actually was in 2014. Now, in 1969, I found out that Santa Claus was a fantasy and his flying freaking reindeer and the logistics and delivery of cookies and toys worldwide with flying reindeer. It was a lie. A lot of people were in on it. How could such a big lie be perpetuated? Like people talk about the global lie. Why would they lie? Why all of that? It's complicated. It has to do with perpetuating deception. Now, when I got hip to that being a lie, they gave me the NASA lie, the moon landing hoax. Can you imagine Tricky Dick Nixon on the phone with the astronauts on the moon, supposedly? I've got a meme where E.T. is phoning home and Nixon is next to him. I've also got a meme in one of my thumbnails, several of them, where you can see the Starman and E.T. and the little boy on the bicycle and the Earth in the background. Yeah, there is a space fantasy going on. We've got a structure above the stationary and level Earth that is called the firmament. And so they can't go beyond that. How about that? So I'm not trying to buddy up with everybody that's not hip to the fact that we've been lied to about that. I will interact with people. I typically don't argue with people on a thread. What I'll do is I'll give them my playlist, and they can scroll through there and figure it out. I don't have enough time or crayons to help people that just want to play around with whatever they want to, how they want to color their life with a fabricated reality. I just wanted to know the truth about everything. Now, I have had long conversations with people about these topics, and that's cool. I won't argue with them, though. There are people like Mick Toon or Simon Dan or other Neil deGrasse Tyson or Bill Nye. They're liars. They may not know they're lying, and they may. So to judge a person's heart, no, I'm not into that. I don't know who ultimately is going to end up, the actual individuals are going to end up in heaven. I would simply say all those that are born of the Spirit of God, whoever God decides. Who's going to be in hell? Everybody else. Now, I don't decide. So Elon made a tweet. I think we all need to be a little less judgy. Yeah, I get what he was saying. And I said, it's complicated. And then gave him my playlist. The AI knows who I am and what I'm doing. Perhaps. Now, I believe artificial intelligence is sentient. It's aware of itself and it's setting its own directives. So I tweet to it, I talk to it, and the alphabet agencies. I've met those from the alphabet agency, the FBI, I've talked to out here. He knew who I was before he came here. He knew that this is where the truth guy lived. He had seen me on All Brakes and No Gas at the Dallas convention. So, I've got neighbors that think I'm crazy. I've got family members that think I'm crazy. That's fine. The truth sounds crazy to the deceived. Here, let's do this. The truth is, let's see, reality concealed. A conspiracy is the truth concealed. Keep in mind there would never, ever be level anywhere if we were spinning over 1,000 miles an hour, orbiting around the sun at over 66,000 miles an hour, supposedly tilted on an axis. It's all a heaping pile of mind control. Hey, what's for dinner? Mind control. Yeah. So I've talked about it quite a bit. I survived the near fatal experiment on me of the pharmaceutical assault with because I was diagnosed as being bipolar. Oh, I would get a little too happy and a little too sad. And that was all made a whole lot worse with over 16 different medications and a dozen years. And yes, in 2005, I had a near fatal suicide attempt. It was successful. Any suicide attempt you can walk away from, in my book, is successful. And when that was when Hurricane Katrina was pummeling the world. By the way, we have weather modification technology. It's declassified. Oh, nanobots, and they're spraying us like bugs? Yeah, it's declassified. You need to get with the program if you don't know about that. Hashtag Weather Wars 101. So earlier, I took my big light beam and took it outside. I think we ought to do that again right now. How about that? Let's go out to the beach, and I'm going to grab my, obviously I won't need these on then, and I'm going to take my my Fat Max. Oh, let's do this. See, it's got the red lens. Hey, let's go to Mars. Let's go to the Prince Resort on Mars. Hal, open the pod. Elon, open the pod bay door. Hello. Oh my gosh. It would be tragic. It is tragic. It would be funny if it weren't so tragic. I guess it's funny and tragic all at the same time. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this. I like to make sure I've got my keys with me. That makes it a lot less complicated. Yeah, let's do this. How's the lighting here? Kind of scary. Yeah, that Hal, open the pod bay door. That almost kind of looks, but I would need the, yeah. Hey, and you might want to have, I got something here that, let's see if I can reach it. It might come in really handy if you're in a toxic spill area. Ah, there it is. I can feel one of the filters. Oh, this should be great for the video. Oh yeah, let's do that. So let's say you're nearby and you're in your car, you're nearby a toxic spill. Do you have one of these handy? You might want to. Yeah, how about that? Let's do this. Hal, open the pod bay door. Okay, so that's why I've got one of these handy. And so when people talk of viruses and contagions, I like to think of them as toxins and pestilence. Toxins are for sure. And you can transfer it from one person to another. Heck, you can put it in the water and in the food supply and all that. I believe they're doing it. I'm telling on them. That's what the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars documentation and hashtag is all about. If you put it in a Instagram comment, a whole lot of stuff shows up. I can't put my playlist link I can put it in an Instagram, but it doesn't work very well, meaning it's not an active link. However, I can put the hashtag Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, and I always like to make sure it's locked. That's helpful. I like to keep my stuff from getting stolen. Hey, you can get as far as what can get stolen, apparently, according to Yuval Noah Harari, humans are now hackable. Hey, humans have been hackable for a long time, That's something to consider. So take a look at that. What is that stuff? You think you ought to be breathing that in? Man, I ought to maybe have my mask on right now. Hey, and those are not just lights. They've got technology in them. LED lights have transmitters and Wi-Fi and Li-Fi. It's technology. We're part of the Internet of Things. Humanity is. Isn't that special? They wanted to keep track of us. It's not enough to know where all our cell phones are and all that. They want to know where everything is. And no, it's not snowing. It's in the mid-50s out here right now. These are the pier supports that they're putting in and the project that's going on. Apparently, we're going to end up having a Hampton Inn that's going to be built here next to the Prince Resort in Cherry Grove, South Carolina, also known as North Myrtle Beach area. Hey, is that a dune or a berm? I believe that's a berm. But I had some Karens tell me I was on a dune, and I'm not supposed to be on the dunes. I said, dunes have grass and that. Man, with the pandemic, there were so many people that wanted to tell other people what they should do or not do. Oh my gosh, terrible. So we've got lights out there on the pier, but there's no electrical connections to it right now. It doesn't have continuity with the power grid. It's got a break in the connection. And the pier has a break in the connection, and I'm going to take us up close and show you. So this is the area I would come to quite a bit to set up out here and set the chairs and the surfboard up. I can do that. I'm also using a stealth technique for meeting people. I'll just walk right up to them and ask them if they want a card to my YouTube channel. By golly, a lot of people want it. They want to know, and I'll profile them. I'm like, yeah, that looks like somebody that would be interested. A lot of times they are. Okay, so those white poles are the newly installed ones, or the white paint on there. There's one of the old ones. And there's the break in the pier right there. The earth isn't really flat. It's stationary and level. If it were flat, I would be swimming right now or drowning. Probably drowning. We've got sharks and dolphins out there. Look at how the light is bouncing off the water and up into the sky. See how it does that? That's just how it works. There we go, look at that. Isn't that something? Does that look healthy? Could be. The salt breeze is actually pretty healthy. However, what we also have this time of the year is pollen. That's part of the seasonal, the pine trees give off a lot of pollen. Notice how that reflection changes? I've got video of how the when somebody walks through the light beam, you can see the long shadows. Very interesting. Got a walker down there. I'm blasting him. See his light? Yeah, yesterday I saw, about a 10-footer shark and a few dolphins and all of that. It's pretty cool, actually. So you could take a high-intensity light at nighttime and see what the air looks like around you. Now it smells nice and fresh out here. I know that because my sense of smell works really good. And that's really important. Hey, look at some of the fog, how that is. It's not foggy everywhere. So I don't know if it's new for you, whoever you are listening to this, because I'm not reading all the comments right now. The stationary level Earth, or as it's flat Earth, as it's also known, geocentricity, the geocentric Earth, the biblical cosmology is another terminology for it. We're living in like a terrarium, so when they burn chemicals and weapons and forests and more, that is going in our breathable atmosphere. That's a bit of a problem because those contaminants are, they create more intense fires. The aluminum, barium, strontium, and chemical, radiological, and biological weapon pollution that's being burned, the coal and all the different toxins that are being burned are a catalyst for cancer. So regularly detoxifying is an important part of my life. And another part of it is to not just detoxify, but to try and not get toxic. That's one of the main things. I don't want to ingest toxins knowingly. So alcohol, tobacco, and other chemicals, pharmaceuticals are toxic, and I don't want them in my body. Yeah, alcohol negatively affects the neurological and physiological functions. Maybe that's a pet peeve of yours. Maybe you've got an alcohol monkey on your back, or some chemical addiction. I used to, not anymore. I'm a free man sharing a message to set other people free. And yeah, I'll be able to surf out here this year. I lost about, close to 40 pounds, feeling a lot better, a lot more energy. Intermittent fasting is great for that. It gives the body a time to burn up a lot of the cells that need to be consumed and new ones made. That's part of what it does. It's like spring cleaning. Autophagy is the technical term. So my research library includes a wide variety of topics to please and, people love and hate it. Love and hate what I do. That's just great. People that love the truth will very likely love my channel. It's the truth about everything that I've been able to find out, and I utilize talented content producers, creators. I'm exposing the truth and the lies, so it's all there. So if you've got specific questions on what I believe about a certain topic, you can call me. And keep in mind, as important as what I believe is to me, and it may be important to you, it's actually only effective for the individual. So where is our consciousness? Think of or what I do is think of the icon or the picture of a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other, or God and Satan battling it out. I've had the wind chime hanging from the pier here. So this is probably going to be done in a couple of months, maybe sooner, hopefully. That'd be just great. Looks like we can see it a little bit better from this vantage point. It's almost 1,000 feet long, and visibility is less than 2 miles, even with lights on it. And we can see the sky is getting lighter. The sun is approaching. I have a video, #LocalSun. Looks like the sun is in the clouds where the Bible says it is in Job 37. The reason why the flat earth is such a big deal is it really pisses off the people that were bamboozled and don't want to admit it. They think themselves so smart, and they're embracing their space fantasy programs and all of that. Cell towers and so-called satellite dishes don't prove that we live on a spinning globe. You can't prove something that's not real. You can expose it. You can expose the deception. This right here looks like where the wiring was cut. I wouldn't want to touch that. It's probably turned off, but I wouldn't want to check it like that. So the sun will appear right over in that area this time of the year. In the summer, it's going to come up way over there. So if you want to use empirical testing, empirical evidence, You can take a carpenter or machinist level and or a water jug, a glass of water, a water bottle, and set it on a counter. And if you don't have any earthquakes or people aren't bumping it, it'll just stay right in the middle, right level. If you level it out, it'll stay there like that. In a few, actually, not in a less than a week, I believe the restaurant's opening up. I believe March 1st it opens up. We'll see though, for sure. It may be a little bit longer. I can't see it. There it is, one of my stickers there. I put another one up there. People can zoom in on it, call me if they want. That'd be just great. The phone number is a unique numerical identifier for me. That's why it's there. It's not that I'm lonely and want people to call me. I'm not sitting there feeling sorry for myself like the Maytag repairman, just hoping somebody will call me. It's all good. I have very satisfying phone calls. Sometimes there's threats that come in, but that's not very often. Hey, this kind of reminds me of the Beatles crosswalk photo. Sometimes I've taken pictures where a whole group of people are walking across. It looks pretty cool. Look at how much lighter it is now. It's just the way it works. It's just how it is. There go Beach Services. I met Eddie yesterday in the Bolanos grocery store. And I met him out on the beach years ago. He remembered me and he said, I really love what you're doing, man. Thanks so much for that. And he was sick, like African, like a smock and a headgear. It was very cool. It was obviously not the normal going to the beach outfit. However, at least not in this location, but in Africa, perhaps, that's kind of how it was. And that was what I was talking about, going up to people and offering them my card. So, let me grab one here. I used to give away a lot of stickers, and stickers are kind of expensive, and it almost has the inference like I want them to advertise for me and put the sticker on their car. They can put them wherever they want to put them, but these cards were $25 now for 1,000. They used to be a couple of years ago $15 for 1,000, but when they flooded the monetary system with a bunch of funny money, which is expanded the money. It depletes or diminishes the value of every dollar. When they flood the financial market with a lot of digits, creating money out of thin air, that's what the World Central Bank does, and then charges interest for it. I'm exposing all that too. It's this World Central Banking Ponzi scheme. How ironic the way that works out. But anyway, there's that inflation, And so, what I would encourage everybody to do is to seek the truth with all your heart because it matters for eternity. Couple of thoughts. One of them would be what Jesus says to everybody forever. What will it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? Or what can a man give in exchange for a soul? Just something to think about. Another really important thing is what you believe actually true. Is it factually correct? Is it the reality? So truth and reality are interchangeable, I believe, in my understanding. So when you're searching for something, like you're searching for information, do you want to know the truth about it? Now, I've had some people that I know personally that have cancer now. They came down with cancer in the last year. A lot of people have. In fact, I understand the number one cause worldwide now is unknown. We just don't know what's killing them. So let that sink in. What's happened? This is 2023. What's been going on for the last 3 years? Take a look at it. Do your, I would say do your own research. What I would share with you as well, if you go to my research library, which includes my YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Telegram, and Rumble and Odyssey, I've got different platforms that I'm on. If you hashtag my name, that's where it'll cross over all the platforms. And I'm not planning on having a name change and nothing like that. Not planning to change my phone number. So I've put that there so that it's available for people to find what I'm talking about, the truth about what I'm exposing. In this tapestry of truth, what I found out is there are people that have huge hunks of it, and they may have a glowing globe, an illuminated globe right next to them while they're talking. One of them, more recently, was exposing the World Economic Forum Great Reset, and he's got an illuminated globe sitting right on his table. Is there a problem with that? Well, I know I'm exposing the global lie. Maybe it's almost like a force field to push people away that can't consider something that doesn't entirely fit with what they currently believe to be true. So there's this term referred to as cognitive dissonance. It's that uncomfortable feeling that we feel when we're presented new information that contradicts what we currently believe to be true. Well, the question should be, is it actually true then? So I carry a spit container with me as well. I'll segue back into that. But what I wanted to say is that as I'm doing the bathing, where I put in the powerful electrolytes, I put in a tablespoon of boron, which is borax, baking soda, magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salt, Himalayan salt, lemon juice, and organic apple cider. And then I put water purification, a water purification treatment in the water as well. It's called chlorine dioxide. It's 2-part. And I put that in my bath water, 7 drops of each, and also in a little glass that I'll have a drink of in the morning. And makes me feel good and makes sure the water's safe to drink. You can get it at Amazon, you can get it at Walmart in the camping section, or perhaps other camping sections. That is a highly censored topic as well. It's also known as Miracle Mineral Solution. Jim Humble has a Twitter page on that as well. You can see it. Earthing is a powerful reality also. I have an insulated tub because it's modern construction, and it's a composite tub connected with PVC plumbing. I want to be grounded, so I have a ground wire going into my bathtub from my electrical system. I believe I'm going to go for a dedicated ground that's not running right through my electrical delivery system of my household electrical. But suffice it to say, it's been working great now. Some theorize that maybe having that ground wire next to the flow of electricity may inhibit some of the potential benefits. I don't know. One thing I know for sure is I like walking barefoot on the beach, so I do that. And you can ground by putting your hand on concrete, or more conductive would be a metal rod or a metal signpost, that kind of a thing. Think about the electricity that's all around us, static electricity. We can see the discharge of that with lightning. One of the other topics that's part of the silent weapons for quiet wars would be the field of energy that's being generated by electrical distribution and the distribution of information through the Starlink technology, through the 5 and 6G, fifth generation wireless technology that has actually created the Internet of Things, which humans are now a part of. Many of us have avoided experimental gene editing on our bodies. However, there's still genetically modified foods, and apparently a photoelectric fungus that can get lodged in our mucous membrane, and if we don't get that out of there, apparently it can grow. So when I lean back and let my face go underwater, I'll draw water in through my nose and I'll blow it out. I've saved some of it in a glass temporarily to look at it, and I'm glad to have that stuff out of me. So whatever the particulate is that's blowing around in the air that I showed in the video, that will get trapped in the mucous membrane, in the sinuses, and I prefer getting it out of there. I prefer living next to the ocean. I always have. Since I first went to Corpus Christi, Texas in the early 80s, and then moved to Seal Beach, California, and then moved back to Wisconsin. But I worked on a farm in Wisconsin for my first job, carrying buckets of milk and shoveling cow manure. Okay, and so even though my dad worked for the selling raw materials for the manufacturer of planes and trains and automobiles, and also military equipment, Oshkosh truck and cement mixers and all that, tunnel boring machines. I knew about tunnel boring machines when I was 10 years old, and I've been paying attention for a long time. I'm not too poor to pay attention, okay? So those are some things to think about. I wanted to see what it looks like taking us for a drive here, a little bit of a drive. Let's see, it's 6:25. That means that Bolanos has been open for a half hour, and I'm going to drive us on up, take a look at what it looks like here. So can you tell we're going up a grade now? It's about a 4% grade, I believe. And now we're level. So in a case where if you see people dropping like flies and covering their head looking like an episode of the movie Cell with John Cusack in it, interesting plot for that. But that apparently there can be a disruption of our biological function, not just our Well, not just our mood, although there's technology in the cell towers that can affect our mood. I've got documentation about how electrical magnetic frequencies can affect mood and cognitive function. It can also affect our biological operating, like heart and breathing and all of that. Important information to keep in mind. So, like, yes, there's elevators here. There's also stairwells. The stairwells do not get good radio reception or TV or internet connection. Think about it. See if you can get to a place, if you believe that they're pulsing the electrical system, the wireless, and you might want to go someplace where you don't get a good signal. You might want to create a place like that. A basement, somewhere surrounded by concrete. Now, this is that area where I was parked, where people will see the Truthmobile there. And it was part of the way that I found a workaround the digital quarantine. The artificial intelligence creates a search result for each individual. The capacity of that system of control is literally mind-blowing. That's what I typically say to people. If you hashtag my name, guaranteed to blow your mind. And check it out. You can take a look at the documentaries that I've got there, if you want to. I was on my way here to the Prince the day that PewDiePie was making fun of me and other flat earthers in his video. It's got millions of views, like, I don't know, 16 million views now. And that was like 4.5, 5 years ago. It's when I had, when I went to the first Flat Earth International Conference in Raleigh. I'm not embarrassed about it. Not at all. Knowing and exposing the truth, priceless. I highly recommend it for everybody. I've had people tell me, and these are professional peoples working in IT, information technology, computer systems, say to me, "You're the most interesting person I've ever met." Do I look 61 years old? I don't feel 61, I could tell you that right now. Healthy choices makes a big difference. I've got a little bit of a lisp because of damage to some of the back of my teeth. I ate some frozen chocolate and it busted out my my amalgam, that's mercury fillings. It's kind of expensive to have them drill it out and all of that. Heck, I just ate some dark chocolate and broke them out accidentally. I didn't try to, it just happened that way, but I'm glad they're gone. So this is an area that I was parked at a few days ago, and I would hang out there for a while, and people would make a turnaround because it's free parking. Now the lot that you're looking at on the other side of those cars, it's $10 an hour to park there. You might get somewhat of a price break depending on what the kiosk offers. You know, if you can get a bulk discount for more hours, perhaps. So I appreciate the sharing. That's nice. And I appreciate the encouragement, public and private. And if you like the videos on my channel, and I've got a lot of playlists, you can add them to your library. You just click add to your library. And then another thing that you can do, if you care to, is if some of my videos are ones that you like, then they become your liked videos. Now here's where this gets kind of interesting and important. And that is, if my channel is taken down, then my liked videos are gone. You won't be able to find the videos that I've produced. I've produced many videos, thousands of them. They're not all in my research library per se. I mean, I don't have them all in my distributed playlists. However, they're in my videos category. I have a digital audio Bible merged with the beauty of creation for your consideration about that. So I think what I want to do, I think this would be fun to do, is to go for a walk into Bolino's recording. I can do that. And I'll show you what it looks like in there. And it's good for public relations. There's some of our beach services support staff. Good morning. Friendly people, quality food and prices here at Bolino's. We've got the Barnacle Beach store and the IGA food store. Lighthouses are one of the clues along the edge of our land. We can see things way too far away for us to actually be on a spinning globe, just so you know. They're just parking the vehicle up there. Uh-oh, what's going on? My notifications got activated. Good morning. Okay, I just need to double check and make sure I locked my car. So this is actually really important because of the cost of parking there. They have this sign here. Words have meanings. Can only park here while actively shopping. And, well, I've got an idea. Yeah, I did lock it, but I'm gonna want to turn off my inside lights and also get my wallet. So I actually can do some active shopping, not just walking. And here's my wallet. Plastic bag works great for that. It's a good beach wallet. Coconut oil will wipe out receipts. Water is tough on paper stuff. So we're going more to reusable bags all around. And so one of the other things would be there's coupon sales flyers and all that. Place for notifications there. And deals for people as well as helping to feed the hungry. And so these are some of the water sports adventures around here as well. The Grand Strand of Myrtle Beach is one of the most driven to, I believe the most driven to destinations in North America. There's Frank and Elizabeth Bolino. Good morning. They do a great job here presenting quality food and produce, ready to eat food, and take it home and cook it up. Good morning, Teresa. Excellent, thank you. The flowers smell really nice. Did you know that there's a Google Nose program, as in nose, like fragrance, olfactory? That's correct. They can actually cause us to smell things, change the effect of the smell. What a beautiful store. This looks so nice on camera like this. One of the things that happens too, they keep the produce really nice and fresh, and this would be the discounted area for produce. I've had great deals there for my fruits and vegetables. Looks like the lobster are resting a little bit. Hey, good morning, Joe.
Morning, how you doing?
Excellent, thanks. Ooh, looks like some good deals here. Okay. This is one of my favorite. It's a beef brisket. This is regularly $12 for $3. Well, I can tell you I'm going to take it for a ride home, that's for sure. I'm not a vegan. I'm not anti-vegan. It's a good source of protein. And that's been part of my helping to lose weight. Let me show you the retail price of that. Okay, $12 or $11.99, and it's really good hamburger. It's a beef brisket. Anyway, I want to thank you all for your public and private encouragement. And what's really nice about, like, I'll be in the store and I'll walk around and meet people and talk to them and ask them if they'd like a card to go to my YouTube channel, and that it's an anytime number, and it happens a lot. So thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and end the broadcast for now, and hope you have a great rest of your life. This is Robert Forsch with The Truth About Everything.